BD5 Pilots back at you. It's still Saturday, and I'm getting ready to do the second task I plan to do today. We finished the seat earlier, and now we're to work on the little pan that goes between the main gear compartment and the engine compartment area behind my seat where the instruments are going to go, some of the remote electronics. And while I gave you a hint at the part last video, that's the area I'm talking about, that little area where I want to have access where I can at least have an inspection so I can look in there without only having the ability to look at it from underneath. And so I pulled the parts out that had been originally constructed for this aircraft, and these are the holes for the old fuel system that used to be in it. And there were plans for this tray to come out further, so I've already cut this down somewhat. Made a few marks though, so I could tell what I want to do. Got a new piece cut out of 32 thousandths aluminum, and you'll notice some marks there. On this side over here is where my fuel lines are going to run, and the little cables that run the fuel cutoff. And that little line is going to represent a bead that I want to put there to strengthen this, because the rounded edged rectangular hole here is something that I want to use my offset dies on my that new 8-inch Eastwood die, roller bead maker, and offset this just a little bit, so then I don't have to make a little backing plate that rivets in. I can actually have that step for me, and then make a little lid for that screws in and allows me to have an inspection plate. So I'm just getting ready to try my hand at the bead roller, see if I screw everything up. Made this piece just a little oversized so that I've got some spare room in case this work that I'm doing is going to cause the overall dimensions to try to shrink up a bit. I'm expecting it to kind of warp a little on me, so we're about to find out how that's going to work. You can see I've got the bead formed. And this did work well and didn't deform too much, so now I'm going to change the dies in there so I can use the offset dies and then go to work making this other part, see if it works. And there, I put a 3/8 bead at both sides, and then I put the offset die, and now I'm going to mark that center piece so I can cut out the center part of that hole, and we'll design a lid for it that I put on later, but I'm going to get to the work on the rest of the dimensions so that I can actually test fit it into the aircraft. Really happy with that bead roller. So yeah, the ads you see for that little Eastwood 8-inch bead roller, pretty easy to use. Little learning curve, but once you start getting it, it's a good tool. So after the trimming from the existing parts and then drilling some of the holes out, I'm actually amazed every one of them fit. And so I've got that in the position it will be. You can see the little ridges that are in there for the strength, and then we'll mark the hole there later to cut that out. I'll leave it in right now so it's got a little easier to deal with. We don't wreck the part bending it around, putting it in and out. But ready to do a little bit of figuring on where the throttle linkage are both going to be over right around here. Throttle and choke are going to come in right about this location. And we'll get those worked out in conjunction with what the motor mounts are going to do, but we'll get this part made up, and that'll be one of the next pieces that I work on installing is this little pan. Another view of the new pan from the area behind the seat. But that gives me some good things to think about tonight for designing how that fuel cutoff system is going to work. I'm going to call that quits for a good Saturday, and got Sunday and Monday I can do a little more work on this plane. So BD5 Pilot is out for now. Thanks for watching, everyone.